In today's video, I want to highlight the three major PlayStation 4 game releases for tomorrow. I would say that tomorrow is one of the big days in the entire year in terms of high profile and marquee releases. We've got one reasonable PS4 exclusives, but two other pretty major titles, so we'll go over all of those. On top of that, I want to take a look at the insane SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated Special Editions. One of them is $150, the Shiny Edition, and then we have the FUN Fun Edition. That will run you back a whopping $299.99, so thought it'd be fun to take a look at that. And CyberPunk 2077 got an update on that. An analyst is saying that it's expected to sell 20 million units within 1 year. That's a pretty high number, but we'll take a look at that as well. And before we get into everything, I just want to remind you guys to make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit the bell notification icon so you are always notified of uploads. And that definitely helps out the channel too, so we always appreciate that. First of all, let's take a look at all of the major PlayStation 4 game releases tomorrow, as tomorrow is one of the packed days of the year. Quite possibly the most packed in terms of high-profile releases. I don't think it's hyperbolic to say that at all. First up, we have the new RPG coming from Obsidian in the Outer Worlds. Outer Worlds, the reviews are coming out for this and they are looking very positive as well. The game is currently sitting at an 86 on Metacritic, I believe. Let me get you guys an updated number right now. And it has been adjusted. It has an 85 right now. That's based on 55 critics, so I would say that's pretty good, all things considered. A lot of positive reviews. DualShockers gave it a 9.5, Game Informer 9.25, GameSpot gave it a 9.0, Destructoid gave it a 9.0, IGN Italy gave it an 8.8, IGN itself, I believe, gave it an 8.5, so really good review scores across the board. There are some lesser reviews in there as well, but overall the reception has been very positive, and if you want a quality RPG, Outer Worlds is definitely going to fit the bill. The game itself is a brand new single-player sci-fi RPG coming from Obsidian and publisher Private Division. As you explore a space colony, the character you decide to become will determine how a player-driven story unfolds in the corporate equation for the colony. You are the unplanned variable, and this unplanned variable can really go a multitude of different ways. That's where player choice really comes into play, and how you assess and attack the game is going to be a big element of the game, and it lends itself to being incredibly replayable as well. Some really cool elements being introduced in the game as well. The flaw system is really cool. A compelling hero is made by the flaws they carry with them. While playing the Outer Worlds, the game tracks your experience to find what you particularly aren't good at. Keep getting attacked by Rabadons. Taking the rat phobia flaw gives you a debuff when confronting the vicious creatures, but also rewards you with an additional character perk right away. So it's a pretty interesting premise being integrated into the game. As far as what the future of Obsidian is, of course they are partnering with Xbox and Microsoft, and they will be a part of Xbox Game Studios, so the next Obsidian title will be a Xbox and PC exclusive. Maybe Microsoft will work out an agreement. We've seen that Microsoft is relatively open to that idea, but at this point I would expect the next Obsidian release to be a Microsoft exclusive. Should be noted that Pillars of Eternity 2 will be making the transition to PlayStation 4, and Microsoft has given them the go-ahead to release the game on the PS4 before their partnership kicks into effect, so that's pretty cool. And Pillars of Eternity 2 will be a great release on PS4 as well, but come tomorrow, you'll be able to check out the Outer Worlds. Also coming tomorrow, a game that has really lost a lot of its luster in recent weeks, I would say, is Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Now, I played the beta, and I had quite the good time with the beta. Unfortunately, with all the announcements of the PlayStation exclusivity, everything that's going on with Blizzard and Activision is kind of bundled into that, with Call of Duty Modern Warfare's PC release being exclusive to Battle.net. There has been this negative stigma attached to the game recently. However, I think there is still going to be some enjoyment to be had with the game. The multiplayer that I played out of the beta was rather good. Crossplay being a thing is definitely great, and the single player campaign sees quite the jolt as well. It'll focus on realism and feature tactically based moral choices, whereupon the player is evaluated and assigned a score at the end of each level, and players will have to quickly ascertain whether NPCs are a threat or not, such as a civilian woman who is believed to be reaching for a gun but then simply grabs her baby from a crib. Elements like that are rather interesting, and all of that being introduced to Call of Duty Modern Warfare single player campaign, I find that to be rather compelling. I've always been one to enjoy Call of Duty single-player campaigns. That's why I was kind of upset about the lack of a single-player campaign with Black Ops 4, but great to see them bringing it back with Call of Duty Modern Warfare. The DLC content for the game being free is also a nice incentive. It seems like that's becoming more and more of a regular thing, with Battlefield 5 implementing something very similar. And all of that coming together hopefully means that Call of Duty Modern Warfare will turn out to be a good game. We'll find out soon enough as the official release comes tomorrow, although if you do buy the game digitally on the PlayStation Store, I believe it goes live midnight Eastern time, so if you're in the West Coast, it'll unlock at different times, so there you have it with that. But the official release from a physical standpoint will be coming tomorrow. And lastly, as far as new releases go, definitely want to give a mention to Medieval. While the reviews and the general reception for this game hasn't been incredibly strong from a critical standpoint, it's still getting decent enough reviews. I believe the last time I looked at it, it had a 69 on Metacritic, which is still a respectable score. It's not like the game is being bashed left and right, and you have to consider the fact that this is a budget release and it's a remake of a fan favorite PlayStation 1 title, so a lot of the mechanics have been retained from the original game, and I guess the main issue with it is it hasn't been modernized enough. I think if you are the consumer that's going into this game just wanting to revisit Medieval and you played it way back in the day, and you're going to be able to find the charm out of the game, especially at that $29.99 price point, I think you're still going to have a really good time with it. And of course, visually, the game is uplifted quite a bit. If this game was priced at $39.99, $49.99, $59.99, I would be a lot more skeptical and hesitant on picking this game up. But at a $30 budget price point, I think it's a great buy. October has really been highlighted by that in terms of PS4 exclusives. We had Concrete Genie earlier this month. That turned out to be a great game at a $29.99 price point. We'll see how the general consumer reception is to Medieval, but that's also a $29.99 release. And more budget-oriented releases is definitely appreciated, especially at this time of the year where there are a million games coming out, even though I have said that this fall is a little bit weaker than prior falls, with some games getting delayed and a lot of the heavy hitters being saved for early 2020. Still, there are a ton of compelling games coming out, and a lot of them running $60 a pop, that having a $30 game here and there is definitely appreciated, and it does incentivize us a little bit to pick those games up more than the others. Medieval drops tomorrow, and I'm still very much excited for it. Alright, moving on from that, I also wanted to give mention for Spongebob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated Special Editions. These special editions are so crazy in that they are very, very expensive. The game itself, I believe, will be $30, and I'm very excited for it. Seeing SpongeBob coming back in a video game sense is so exciting, and it's a remake that I did not expect at all to happen, but give it up to THQ Nordic. They've been making some really zany, off-the-wall games come to fruition, and this is definitely a prime example of that. And now we have the Shiny Edition and the FUN Fun Edition. Don't know how many people are going to check this out because of the price points, but let's go over the contents. The Shiny Edition is $150. They'll include a copy of the game, an 8-inch, 20cm SpongeBob figurine with golden spatula and a flexible tongue, wall stickers, 6 lithographs, and the SpongeBob SquarePants tennis socks. That's pretty insane. And then you have the FUN Fun Edition. That'll be $300. That'll include a copy of the game, an 8-inch figurine, the same figurine, a 7-inch figurine of Patrick, and then an 8-inch figurine of Sandy as well. You've got wall stickers, a set of Tiki keyrings, 6 lithographs, and then you've got the tennis socks in there as well. So $300 for that. Kind of a cool little neat thing, and if you're a giant fan of SpongeBob, hey, maybe it's something to check out. Me personally, I'll probably just stick to the base game, but nonetheless, there you have it. I did want to go over that because it's a little bit over the top, but there you have it. And lastly, I do want to give you guys an update on CyberPunk 2077, and projections for how this game is going to do from a sales standpoint are quite high. I think most of us are expecting the game to sell quite well, as it is arguably the most anticipated game of 2020. I don't think it's hyperbole in saying that, but CyberPunk 2077 is expected to sell 20 million units within 1 year, one analyst is saying. Bloomberg analyst Matthew Kanterman predicts that CyberPunk 2077 will sell 20 million copies within its first year of availability, which is a huge number that The Witcher 3 only managed to sell in 4 years. So it took 4 years for The Witcher 3 to sell 20 million copies. And to suggest Cyberpunk 2077 will sell 20 million copies in 1 year is quite hefty, given that Witcher 3 was the third game in the series. However, you also have to add to the fact that, honestly, the anticipation for Cyberpunk 2077, I think, is greater than the anticipation heading into The Witcher 3, because Witcher 3 was really the game that exposed a lot of people to the brilliance that is CD Projekt Red. Witcher 2 was on the 360 and PC. Witcher 3, on the other hand, was available on every platform. And you also have to assess the fact that the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One had a smaller user base back then, comparatively speaking to the user base that is available now. CDPR John Mamus talked about Cyberpunk 2077 and how the game will be the last big exceptional looking title on this current console generation as well, and he noted, and as the technology changes, we're expected to use it too, and we want to use it because that stuff keeps looking cooler and cooler all the time. We'll always keep pushing the envelope on the way a game can look, and that's one of the most exciting things about working at a CD Projekt Red, getting to do just that. I think Cyberpunk is going to be a real showpiece in terms of tech, especially especially as this generation of consoles is fading out. I think we're going to be that one last big exceptional looking title on this current generation of hardware. I don't know if necessarily that's true considering that Ghost of Tsushima is going to come out after that, but hey, I definitely do think that Cyberpunk 2077 is going to be one of the best looking games of this console generation, and it is closing out the generation, although I do suspect that we are going to get a release on the PlayStation 5 at some point. But what do you guys think? Do you think it can actually manage to sell 20 million copies in a year? That is a pretty lofty expectation, but that's just coming from one analyst and not necessarily what CDPR are projecting internally. And that's going to conclude this video. Again, I definitely wanted to highlight the 3 major games coming out tomorrow. We've got The Outer Worlds, we've got Call of Duty Modern Warfare, we've got Medieval, Spongebob SquarePants has some insane special editions, and Cyberpunk 2077 projected to sell 20 million units within a year, according to an analyst. That's going to conclude this video. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.